just kind of write little love songs. And then I remember that's how I got my first gig, because I played one of the songs I wrote. It was called Dreams. I think it's on YouTube, actually. I've tried to get that video down so many times, but it's
This podcast is about you and your journey in music, and we'll talk about the new music you have out now.
perfect.
Awesome. So talk to me about where you were born and raised.
So I was born and raised in a little town called Billingham, which is like the northeast of England. It's super small, like, a lot of people don't leave there. They just kind of stay.
What is there a big, like, what's the trade there? Like what do people do?
It's like, there's this big thing called ICI. It's like a petrochemical company.
Okay.
I don't really know too much about it. My dad worked there, but like,
Okay.
I don't really know a lot about it. But
Cool.
that's why everyone kind of moves there and stays there, because that's the thing.
They work there and then just stay in the town.
Yeah, because I feel like it's one of those jobs where you have from like you're like a teenager, like late teens, and then you just can have it your whole life, like my dad did, basically.
Oh, okay. What was there other stuff going on there? Like what did you do growing up?
Just like there wasn't a whole lot to do. There wasn't a whole lot, really. I think just the usual stuff, like I'd go out with my friends like after school, and I played football a lot when I was younger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I would do like I had like all the teams that I played for, so I would just go play football all the time. That was my whole life until I was about 18, and then until I did music, and then I was just like gigging and stuff on the weekends and all
Wow.
that
Yeah, I
stuff.
did read that you thought you might be a PE teacher, right? Or a personal
Yeah,
trainer.
that's what
Wow.
that's what I thought I was gonna do, because my whole life was just sport. I went to college, I did sport, and then that's when I started kind of dabbling in music and stuff. And I was just like, oh, actually, maybe I might just stop doing this for a bit. Like the nights were getting colder and it was raining more. And I was like, maybe I don't want to go outside anymore and play football, and I'll just do some music.
Sure. Was there like an opportunity for you to do that professionally, or was it just kind of a
It's
thing that?
kind of like, not, I mean, the thing about the Northeast is like everything is in London.
Mhm.
Like, so if you're from up here, you kind of need to venture out a little bit. So you can go round and round doing the same little bars. I mean, I did every show going, like from like little charity events to pubs where everyone was just getting drunk, and here's me and my little acoustic guitar just playing along, hoping like, it goes down well. But yeah, at some point you kind of have to leave it, because otherwise you can just get caught in that trap of doing the same thing.
Mhm.
So that's what I did, and I went down to London, and I went down to, and then I went over to like LA for like a little bit,
Sure.
and like
But well, how did you get into music? Were you like a fan, or did you play an instrument at all prior to, being 18? And you said that's when you kind of started gigging.
yeah, well, I started gigging at 16.
Oh, 16. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, my dad plays guitar, so he always had like a guitar around the house. So he would just, I remember he had this big gold Beatles songbook, and
Mhm.
I would just kind of like learn little songs out there. And I actually learned guitar to like Taylor Swift songs, like
Oh,
old
cool.
country Taylor Swift songs.
I
So
love
yeah,
Taylor Swift. She's like one of my favorite people.
yeah, she's amazing. Um, well, I don't know her personally,
I don't
but
either, but through her
oh,
CDs, I love her. Through her records.
oh, I thought you meant you're like, you guys go way back. I was
I,
like,
I wish I will. If it sounds like that, that's cool for me. Right.
yeah, just keep saying that. I believed it.
Good sell.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, my dad just taught me a couple of chords, and then from there I just taught myself basically. And then good old Taylor was the one that helped me on my little guitar journey.
That's amazing. And when did you start writing songs?
Kind of like the same time as I was learning guitar. So I'd learn like the most basic chords, and I'd start writing these little songs with like three chords, and
Hmm.
just kind of yeah, write little love songs. And then I remember that's how I got my first gig, because I played one of the songs I wrote. It was called Dreams. I think it's on YouTube, actually. I've tried to get that video down so many times, but it's still up there. But I suppose when I look back now, this is a while ago, so it's like, it's kind of nice to
Yeah, a
kind of,
little snapshot of your history and
yeah.
music.
Yeah, I played it to like my family at Christmas, like the first time I ever sung or anything. And then my granddad got me in his local pub playing with his friends. So that was
Oh,
my
wow.
first, yeah.
So he booked your first show?
Basically, yeah. My granddad's my agent.
That's awesome.
Just that
So
one show.
you booked that one show. And then obviously from there, you were able to book other shows. You said you started playing anything and everything around your town?
Yeah, I played like everywhere I could, really. Anywhere that would have me, I would play. And I played little weddings. I played I played like a first dance, which was cute.
Oh, that
And
is cool.
a couple walking down the aisle and stuff, which was nice. But it's the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done.
Really? Playing? Oh,
Yeah,
I guess it's like their most
they think
special
about
moment.
that. Yeah, they think about that their whole lives, and then he's me just like, don't mess this up. Like, it's the worst moment.
Did they ask you to play original songs or do a cover song, or how did that work?
I actually can't remember now.
Okay.
Because I don't actually remember what song I played. I just remember doing it. It was
Okay.
probably, I think it was a cover. It'll have
Okay.
been a cover.
And from there, you said you got down to London. Is that where you, once you realized this is kind of the career path you want to take, is that when you moved to London?
Yeah, I didn't move to London,
Or
so
just head down
yeah,
there?
kind of headed down on the train and just kind of jumped into some little sessions and started seeing, because I actually didn't realize that you could be a singer. I know that sounds stupid, but like from like being from a small town, you see like singers on TV and stuff. And I just never put the two together. Like I never knew how they got there, if that made sense.
Right, right.
I just seen them there. So it's like I was kind of figuring everything out and realizing, oh, okay, like you can jump into sessions and write songs with people. And I just kind of started figuring it all out by myself, really.
Was it
Uh,
all just networking? Like how did you get into the sessions?
just me putting like on my little hustle, kind of like get myself in anywhere and start writing songs, playing my songs to absolutely anyone that would listen to them. Same thing I do now, to be fair. Like I'm just like anyone listen. And yeah, just kind of went with the flow, really, and just kind of see where it took me.
Okay. And how did you get to LA? How did it take you to Los Angeles?
So like I had a little bit of interest. I think I must have put a video online or something, and I had a bit of interest to like put me in some sessions over there. And I was just like, okay, like I'm down to go to LA for see
Yeah. What was that like? Did somebody just reach out to you on an email or?
yeah, it was just like I think it was like on Instagram or something like that. And I went for 2 weeks. My mom and dad went with me in case I got kidnapped or
I was gonna
something.
say, did they like
Yeah.
when you received this like DM, were you like, is this real? Like, what
I was
was
like,
the
this could be, me
catfish
lying.
situation?
Yeah, this could be me lying to my death, or this is gonna go well. And
Right.
luckily it went well. So
That's good. I like
yeah,
that.
yeah. So I went out there with my mom and dad and just met a couple of people. And I ended up like meeting some really great people. And then I decided to go back for a month and just stayed there by myself. Luckily, I had a friend out there who I stayed with, and yeah, it kind of just snowballed. I feel like once you get to meet someone, you get to meet someone else and someone else, and I just worked with like different people and figured out my sound and stuff like that. It
Mhm.
was really good. It was fun.
Was there a particular song that kind of changed it for you? Like, or what was the song that the people in Los Angeles reached out to you on? Do you remember?
I didn't have any music out, so
Oh,
it must.
really?
Yeah, no, I only released music at the beginning of last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, this is kind of I didn't have no music out, nothing. I think I just must have posted a cover or something. I don't even remember what it was, to be fair, but yeah, they just must have liked the video or whatever, and then kind of went off there and thought, oh, we should write some songs, put her in the studio.
Okay.
And then I
And
did that.
wow. And what year was it? You said you started writing songs or releasing songs last year. You put out an EP?
Yeah.
So okay. So prior to that EP, what year, like, was it 2019 when you started working on the EP? Like, where were you when, because I'm trying to figure it out timeline wise as far as like COVID and everything. It sounds like you were traveling to LA, and like, were you
No,
stuck in LA or?
LA was like a few years ago.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so this is like at the beginning. I was like 21. So when I went to LA.
Okay.
So yeah, the beginning of I was just writing like all the way up until that point. I was just figuring out my sound, writing and figuring out who my team was going to be and stuff. And yeah, that's kind of how it happened.
Okay. And talk to me about the EP that you put out.
Yeah, the EP was, it was like 4 songs, and Lay Down was my first single that I ever released, which did really well and just got a lot of love on like playlists and stuff. And that had zero marketing, had zero anything. I kind of just released it and let it live out there. Well, to be fair, the EP didn't have really anything, kind of just went out there and whatever happened. And it just kind of lives on Spotify and Apple and stuff for people to listen to it. So I would say The Breaks was really the one that really like started.
But still, I mean, with Lay Down, you said that one started to get playlisted and catch some fire.
Yeah, like Apple really like got behind Lay Down, and I think that's got like 4 million streams and stuff now without anything like happening to it really. It's just kind of living on playlists and people discovering it for themselves and stuff. But I love that song. Kind of want to re-release it or something. I don't know.
but the Breaks, you said, was where stuff really started to happen.
Yeah, but I signed with Geffen, and having a team is just like it's a complete like game changer, having people behind you and supporting you and stuff, than kind of doing it myself. I was with an indie label before, and I actually left that label the week the EP came out. So
oh really?
Yeah.
Is that when you got the deal with Geffen?
No, that was it wasn't too long after, actually. I left that indie label at the beginning of last year and then signed to Geffen the end of last year.
Wow.
So in the middle there, I was like freaking out for a second.
I can imagine. Was there just, you left the indie label just because you wanted to strive for something better, or?
I think we just had 2 different. How do I put this?
It's okay.
I think we just had 2 different ideas of what, how we wanted things to go and how we went about things, and I just knew that it wasn't the right home for me, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to put you on the spot. Okay, so you put the record out. I mean, it does well. Then how do you get the attention of Geffen? Just based off the streams of those couple songs that you had out?
Off of Lay Down. So Lay Down was on Apple playlist, and someone heard it, and they were friends with the guys at Geffen, and he kind of just reached out and was like, love what you're doing at the minute, kind of thing, and just started chatting at him, and he was like, would love to like play your songs to some people over here. And I was like, play it to anyone you want.
Sure.
I just left this label, like, I don't know what I'm doing, kind of thing, just play it to anyone. And luckily it got the attention of Geffen and stuff. And then we just had this all happened in lockdown, which is crazy. I never expected to sign a record deal in lockdown, let alone ever, but especially not in lockdown.
So where were you when the lockdown started?
I had in place in London. So I was just in the studio and stuff in London. And then I gave up my place in London and came back up north because I was like, if everything's going to shut in London, I don't want to be by myself in the city.
Smart. Right. Yeah.
So I just came back up north, which was really nice because there's a lot of I don't know, just cute little walks and things to do. You know what I mean? If you can't
be
go
outside a little bit, right?
There's just fields and everything. So it's really pretty. So I just did a bunch of walking around fields and mountains and stuff. So it was a good decision, really.
Sure. And you're just writing the entire time?
Yeah, I was just doing Zooms. Had to get used to Zooms. Not my favorite.
Sure.
I just miss so much being in the room with people creating.
It's harder to write over this, I would imagine. Is it more like business? Like when you get on, you're like, okay, there's probably less Is it harder to get to know the person? I mean, you're not really like vibing as much, or is it like, okay, we're sitting down, Zoom's on, here's my guitar, let's
Yeah,
work on
well,
something.
you gotta hope that your internet holds up first. So you gotta hope there's
Oh,
like
that
connection
so
issues, and then there's like a delay issue, and then I mean, I've had some great Zooms, and then some like where the internet or something's not where I'm just like, oh, this
yeah.
is bad to write a good song like this.
I would imagine, yeah, if the internet's kind of shoddy and you're getting
Yeah,
delays and like the roboticness of it, then you could just be like, you know what, this isn't working today. Right.
yeah.
I mean, you just have to kind of.
You kind of, yes. And it's also nice that you kind of get like a smaller window as well, especially because I'm working with people in LA. So
Uh-huh.
I'm starting at like 7 o'clock at night or something. And I got to get like a few hours in before I like go to bed or whatever.
Hmm.
So, and I like to get to know people I'm working with. I like just sitting and chatting like we are now and
Hmm.
like talking about life and getting to know each other. And then you can get in to like writing a real song. Do you know what I mean? If you know what each other's
Right.
going.
That's what I meant. Like you get on and it's like, okay, hey, I'm Adam. We got to write a song now. So here we go. You ready? And then you're like, oh, I don't really know any, like, how are you supposed to be vulnerable with this person? You don't even know them. And like, like, tell me your deepest, darkest secrets. Let's write a song.
That's what sometimes it is like that. I do try to get a little bit of talking in there because otherwise it'd be like a little bit weird, but it's it's cool. I mean it's work. Like I might have wrote my next single on Zoom
Oh,
if
wow.
if that's the single we're going for. So here's me talking bad about Zoom and I might have another single out of it. But
Well, something good came of it, or it sounds like.
yeah. Yeah. But there's nothing better than being in person and like creating with people. That's like the best thing.
That's amazing. So we talked about breaks that kind of got people on the radar. I mean, same with Lay Down, but the next record you released was That Lost.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that song.
I love that song. It's like I was very inspired by just like Lana Del Rey is one of my favorite people, and I love Adele, and I just love big productions and real stories and kind of taking like the listener on a journey when they listen to the story. Same with like my music videos and stuff. I kind of like, I love movies, so I love taking like imagining like the music video being like a little movie scene or something and just
Mhm.
and like just playing out the song kind of thing. So Lost is something that I wanted to do that with, I think, and that's why I did the whole journey of just two people being in love and running around and in a little car and just getting lost together and stuff. So yeah,
I
it's
love
just
the video. It's a really, really
like,
cool video.
yeah, it's really important to me, that video, because that was the first time I really wanted to show like two girls in love kind of thing and the emotion between two girls and how amazing it can be.
Mhm.
So I really wanted to get that across, just like that connection. And so hopefully I did. Hopefully,
No,
hopefully.
yeah, I think it's a fantastic video. It's
Oh,
beautiful.
thank you.
Yeah. I would imagine being from a small town, was that something hard to, were you kind of nervous putting that out or no?
If you'd asked me like years ago, I would have said yeah. But now I think I've got to the point where I'm so okay with like myself and like
Uh-huh.
being gay. Like if anyone said anything to me now, I'd be like, okay, oh, I don't know, what do you want me to do about it?
Sure. Well,
like
that's good. Yeah, I'm glad that you've, yeah, I can
I
imagine
mean,
that being difficult.
I'm sure some people have said something behind my back.
Whatever. Who cares?
What I don't know can't hurt me, so it's all good.
Sure. Totally, totally.
And
And then you,
I just don't really care. Like I don't care what people what
that's a
people think.
great mentality. I love that. It's like,
Like what that's my truth. That's me and that's what makes me happy. Do you know what I mean? And I've been through that whole years ago, figuring it all out and feeling scared to tell people to the point where I'm just like, eh,
yeah,
eh,
who
say-
cares?
I don't know.
This is
I'm
me.
happy. Yeah.
Whatever. I love that. That's cool. And then Worst, talk to me about Worst. That was and then you have a new one out. We'll get into Tired, but I want to hear about Worst.
Yeah, Worst is a breakup song, which was a very sad song. Um, and that's kind of just like I wrote that thinking about that horror, you know, when like not in a relationship where nothing's really happened, but you kind of just fall out of love, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like the saddest feeling ever, because you almost don't want it to happen, and you don't want to feel that way, and you got to tell this person that you care about so much that you just don't love them anymore. So
Right.
yeah, that was kind of about that, and yeah, it's a sad song.
Yeah.
It's
And
about
that's a
it.
hard thing to do. I mean,
You
telling
know,
somebody that, I mean,
yeah, I was scared putting out, because I'm like, is everyone gonna hate me? They're gonna think I'm horrible, like breaking someone's heart. Like,
because you don't really get that perspective. It's usually the perspective of somebody hurt me. I'm in so much
yeah,
pain, but like to flip this,
yeah. Because I've been both sides of heartbreak. Do you know what I mean? I've
uh-huh.
been the person that's been broken up with, and I've also been the person that has like fallen out of love. And some like that's hard. Like having to tell someone that you don't love them, that is like a horrible feeling. I hated that. It was so bad.
Yeah. And like, not a lot of people have that perspective, but a lot of people or hear that perspective on a song or in, you
Yeah.
did it, but not a lot of people do that. And then so many people can relate to it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
man, I gotta go say this to this person and like break their heart. It's like that
And do
would be
you know what's
rough.
weird? Yeah, do you know what's weird? I actually got messages from people who had been broken up with, and they like messaged me, and they've been like, oh my God, like this helped me so much understand why they did this to me, kind of thing, like what they were going through, and it's kind of given me closure on how they were feeling. And I was just like, huh, like I didn't expect people to relate to it in that way from the other side.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
thought I'd
instead of
be
thinking like, oh, she's look how mean she is.
terrible.
Yeah, she wrote this song about breaking someone's heart. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, I understand now what happened to me because of what Sarah said in her
yeah, it
song.
kind of like made them feel, I mean, that's like less worse, I guess. So they were like, yeah, I don't know. I guess I just didn't expect that, which was cool. I mean, that's the thing with music. You never know how people are gonna relate to it. Like
Hmm.
I just write my stories and like write things that has happened to me or my friends or situations, and you just never know who's gonna connect to it in what way, which is like amazing, really. I love getting messages of people who listen. It's like my favorite thing. I like
Yeah,
literally read them all, like just like, oh my God, this has happened to me. Oh my God, this. I'm like, it's so like sick to see people relate to it.
that is so cool. Was it hard to write songs? I mean, you talked about being on Zoom being difficult, but was it hard to be inspired during like a lockdown situation where you're not really living life as much, so to speak?
I, yes, I guess yes to me in a way of, because I wasn't so inspired by Zooms,
Right.
that I guess I did feel like it wasn't as inspiring. So then it would be if I was in the studio and living life and stuff. But it kind of was nice to just like, for years now, I've just been in the studio writing and writing and writing. And it was kind of nice to just have a break and like think about like what I want to talk about, and what songs I want to release. And also like I had to figure out, I was in the middle of figuring out my team, and there was a lot of like business side of stuff that I got to handle, which was good for me. So then when things did start again, I could
Mhm.
like go into it with like a new team and have that support, which was good. So
Mhm.
that was one inspiring side of it, I guess.
Very cool. Was signing with a major, you signed to Geffen Records is a huge deal. I'm sure it was a massive deal for you, and you did this over Zoom. What were you able to share that experience with your granddad who kind of booked your first show with you?
Yeah, I mean, he sits in. I actually just seen him earlier today,
I
and he
love it.
sits without fail. He'll just sit there and be like, "I've got this song for you to listen to," or he'll be like, "What's your next song?" So I'll sit there and just play him all my songs. Um, but he's got his own taste in music, so if he doesn't like something, he'll be like, or like,
Oh, really? It's not always just like you are the greatest thing ever. I love everything that comes
no,
out of your mouth.
yeah, he has like two extremes. He'll either cry, or he'll be
Oh.
like, yeah, but let me show you this song. And I'm like, okay. Like,
Your song's cool, but listen to this.
but it's cute. Like when he cries, He usually cries, which is nice.
That
Um,
is, you know, it's a good song.
yeah, and I'm like, okay, we got a winner. But yeah, it's probably cool for him to like see how it's grown, really.
Right. I mean, like you said earlier, like you'd see singers on TV and you didn't know how they really accomplished that. And
Well, I think the funny thing is that I think if you're not in the music industry, you haven't really made it until they see you on TV.
oh, okay.
Like you haven't done well until so like they'll still be like, so is anything, is like, so what's happening then, like, and I'm just like, oh well, I just signed like to a major, like, and like, all right, so well, what about like this TV show, are you not I see people on this TV, I'm like, okay, I'll go like one step at a time, like they just,
Right.
it's so funny, like I could be like, yeah, it's like, it's good, it's really good, and they're like, okay.
That's funny. I talked to somebody that said they were like on the cover of Alt Press magazine. So their band made it on the cover of Alt Press magazine.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, how that's a huge publication. It'd be like getting on, you know, the cover of Rolling Stone or something. And it wasn't until like the local paper for the town that they grew up in wrote like an article about it that their family was like, oh my, like ranting and raving. Like, did you see my son is in the like the
Yeah.
paper, like the local paper? Yet
Well,
they've been on like this massive scale before
um,
that.
like my grandma the other day, so are you gonna get signed up then? I was like, oh yeah, like I just did, like it's so cute, but it's like, I think until they see me on the TV, they won't think I've done anything for like the last
Yeah.
how many years.
Well, soon enough. I mean,
Like, the music's so lovely, something's got to happen. I'm like, yeah, well,
it already did. You're like, see this? This is like millions upon millions of people that have listened to my song.
it's so funny, but it's good to have. I feel like it's always going to be like that, so
Sure,
it's
sure.
fine. I
And
mean,
the
unless you see me on TV, then I don't know.
well, yeah, there's still time, right? And but even to say like millions of people have heard your song is beyond 95.9% probably of artists out there.
It's crazy. I was just actually on Apple earlier, and I think it's nearly like 10 million streams on there or something. And I'm just like, that's mad. Like, I
That is
didn't,
crazy.
I mean, I know in the grand scheme of like massive artists, it's not a lot, but for like a newer artist, and
Even a massive artist, I mean, 10 million people. If you think
that's
about
a
that,
lot.
like, I mean, I don't know how many people grew up in your town, but I grew up in San Diego, which is a fairly big city, and they have like 3.5 million people. So that you're reaching more than like LA County or almost. You know what I mean? Like every person that lives there.
I like, see, when you put it like this, I like it. Like,
It's crazy to think.
I know it is, man. I like to think of it as in like how many people fit in an arena, and then how many like times that by how many people have heard it or whatever, and then I can visualize it.
Yeah, it's like
But it's mad because I didn't expect, you just don't expect anyone to listen to it. So then when I see things like that, I'm just like, that's crazy.
that is so cool though. And so, "Tired" is the most recent song. You just put that one out. What's
Yeah.
that song about?
That song's about being in a relationship where you're just kind of over being the person who's trying to make it work, who's putting the most effort in. And it's like, I'm sure everyone's had that person where it's so annoying to love them, but you do. It's like it's so annoying that you do, but it's like, but you can't help it, or there's something about them, they've got you somehow, and you don't leave. But it's kind of that realization of being like, I'm so much more like unhappy with this person than I would be if I just took myself away from it.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's kind of about that, and like just crying too much for someone, basically. As soon as you're crying too much, you got to get out.
That's your bar. When you're crying too much, it's time to go.
If you're not laughing with someone and you're just crying about them all the time, like it's no good.
Yeah. And are these songs all going to be part of one larger body of work?
I think this is something I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
So we need
To be
to,
determined.
yeah, I need to figure it out. Maybe. I think it would be nice to have it as a body of work.
Like an EP.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to the label about it, see what this is.
We're getting ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah, yeah.
You said you have another single coming out, so I imagine you have a lot more songs
Yeah,
to be shown.
Yeah, the next single's coming out next month. Wait, what are we still in September? We are still in September.
Yeah, for another day or so.
Yeah. So next month, my next song will be out. So it's actually my favorite song.
Okay. And this is the Zoom song.
No, that's the
Oh.
one for this one.
Oh, okay. So not the next one. The next one is the Zoom song.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the next one that's out next month is my favorite. Like, I love that song so much.
Could you tell us anything about it? I don't know. I don't want to pry.
I mean, it's going back. Like, it's me basically reminiscing in a song about just my life, and you know, a lot of realization moments. Now I look back and be like, oh, you were gay. Okay, get like,
okay.
you know, those kind of moments. But it's kind of, I guess it's about unrequited love, basically.
Very cool. Well, I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah,
And I love what you're doing so far. It's amazing. And congratulations on all the success. And I appreciate you talking with me today.
Of course, it's been lovely.
I have one more question for you. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
I think don't be put off by people saying no, because it takes one person to believe in you. Literally, it takes one person, and they can change everything for you in like that kind of thing. And that's what happened to me. One person believed in me, and then other people believed in me after that kind of thing. So yeah, don't be put off by saying no, and just write and write and write. Find your sounds, and just, yeah, believe in yourself. That's what you got.